and urged Trump to stop waging a war on American consumers and on housing or affordability and putting the economy at risk. Yes or no? You don't have to explain.
Representative Waters,
Will you be the voice?
Will you be the voice?
Will you be the voice?
Of inflation,
will you be the voice of reason?
And
will you be the voice of reason?
A study
yes
from
no?
Wharton University
reclaiming my
has
time.
shown
Reclaiming my
the
time.
the biggest reason for
Reclaiming
the housing
my
increase
time.
was the mass
Reclaiming my
unfettered
time.
immigration.
Mr. Chair, will you let him know that when I ask
million
him time
immigrants
Time does
took
belong
up
to
the
the
housing
gentlewoman
stock.
from California.
10 and 20 million immigrants
Can you
took
shut
up the
him up?
housing stock of working Americans, and can you maintain some level of dignity?
Gentlelady's time has expired.
No, my time has not expired.
Your time has expired. And the
The
gentleman,
gentleman took up my time. I think you should recognize that, Mr. Chair.
the
He
gentlewoman's
took up
time has
my time.
expired. The gentlewoman's time has
Well,
expired.
if you
Mr.
wanna
Chair,
put-
parliamentary
if you
inquiry.
wanna protect him,
The chair
Mr. Chair,
recognizes the vice chairman of the
Mr.
committee,
Chair.
Mr.
If you
Heisinger.
want to
Parliamentary inquiry.
go right ahead, but I would not expect you to do that.
The room was calm, but only for a moment. What looked like a routine congressional hearing quickly turned into a tense and unforgettable confrontation. Representative Maxine Waters stepped in with sharp questions, ready to challenge economic policies and rising costs facing Americans. Across from her sat Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, composed and seemingly prepared for the pressure. At first, the exchange followed the usual script: data, accusations, and controlled responses. But beneath the surface, tension was building with every question and every interruption. Then suddenly, the conversation took a turn no one in the room expected, and in just a few seconds, one statement changed the entire direction of the debate.
Now recognize the ranking member of our committee, Mrs. Waters of California, for 5 minutes for questions.
Thank you very much, Secretary Bessent. In the FSOP annual report, you stressed the importance of economic growth to promote financial stability. While you noted many ways you plan to deregulate Wall Street and plant the seeds for another crisis, you said little about the harms of inflation. I find this odd, as the President and you have finally began discussing in the media how the price of goods are way too high. Notably, you mentioned that tariffs may need to come down to lower costs for Americans. So I have a few questions about this. As a former hedge fund manager in 2004, and I don't want you to go into any long details about this, but did you write a letter to investors raising concerns about the impact of tariffs, writing that, quote, tariffs are inflationary? Did you say that at that time, yes or no?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have a New York Times article that, agrees that you
New
said
York
that.
Times.
Then last summer, when you testified before a Senate committee, you said, and I quote, "There is no inflation. Tariffs are not being passed on to consumers." You were quite definitive, and even claimed that critics had, quote, "tariff derangement syndrome." Well, those comments are at odds with the statement you made to investors that tariffs are inflationary. Again, I want to be clear, so just let me ask you, are tariffs inflationary, yes or no?
According to the San Francisco Federal Reserve, with 150 years of data,
Yes or no?
Tariffs do not cause inflation. San Francisco Federal
Well, last
Reserve
November, as
Congresswoman,
the Trump administration finally began to realize
150 years
that
of data.
affordability issues in America are not a hoax, you told Fox News that the government was going to reduce tariffs on goods like coffee and bananas, and that doing so would, quote, bring the prices down very quickly. Mr. Secretary, why was that announcement even necessary? If tariffs aren't inflationary, and as you and the President like to say, are paid for by the foreign country, a tariff on coffee or bananas shouldn't raise the price of either for American consumers. Well, that's the Trump logic, but that isn't reality. It did raise prices across the board, and you know it. I think you knew back in July also. The real question is, why would you even impose a tariff on a good that a country doesn't grow or make, as that would only serve to punish the American consumer? Now, as you know, this committee has taken a bipartisan approach to addressing another real affordability crisis: housing. Rents are too high, there aren't enough houses. However, one clear reason that the housing crisis has grown worse is that you and the rest of the Trump administration levied tariffs on housing production goods like lumber and steel, as well as appliances. These tariffs will result in
Congressman,
half.
lumber is
Reclaiming my time. You don't get to talk.
Lumber is at a
Reclaiming my
5-year
time.
low, Congresswoman.
Reclaiming my time.
Let's just have the facts, ma'am.
Reclaiming my time. Thank you. However, one clear reason that the housing crisis has gone worse is that you and the rest of the Trump administration levied tariffs on housing production goods like lumber and steel, as I said, as well as appliances. These tariffs will result in 500,000 fewer homes built at a time when we need more homes built, not less. Trump single-handedly made housing more expensive. And once again, you know it, as Axios has reported that you were planning to lift tariffs on housing production goods. In addition, the unlawful campaign the Trump administration has waged with ICE and Border Patrol, terrorizing American communities, has also harmed home construction across America. So I ask you, Secretary Bessent, will you be the voice of reason in the administration and urge Trump to stop waging a war on American consumers and on housing or affordability and putting the economy at risk? Yes or no? You don't have to explain.
Representative Waters,
Will you be the voice? Will you be the voice? Will you be the voice? Will you be the voice of reason? Will you be the voice of reason?
A study
Yes or
from
no?
Wharton University
Reclaiming my
has
time.
shown
Reclaiming
the
my
big-
time.
the biggest reason for the
Reclaiming
housing
my
increase
time.
was the mass
Reclaiming my
unfettered
time.
immigration
Mr. Chair, will
you
you
let
let
in
him
between
know
10
that
and
when I
20
ask
million
him
immigrants
Time does
took
belong
up
to
the
the
housing
gentlewoman
stock.
from California.
10 and 20 million immigrants
Can you
took
shut
up the
him up?
housing stock of working Americans, and can you maintain some level of dignity?
Gentlelady's time has expired.
No, my time has not
Your
expired.
time has expired. And the
The
gentleman,
gentleman took up my time. I think you should recognize that, Mr. Chair.
the
He
gentlewoman's
took up
time has
my
expired. The gentlewoman's time has
Well,
expired.
if you
Mr.
wanna
Chair,
put-
parliamentary
If you
inquiry.
want to protect him,
The chair
Mr. Chair,
recognizes the vice chairman of the
Mr.
committee,
Chair.
Mr.
If you
Heisinger.
want to
Parliamentary inquiry.
go right ahead, but I would not expect you to do that.
In the end, what stood out most in this exchange was Bessent's ability to stay composed under pressure, even as the questioning became increasingly aggressive. He did not rely on emotion, instead he leaned on data, long-term economic perspectives, and a clear effort to redirect the conversation toward what he believed were the root causes. While the interruptions made it difficult to fully expand on every point, his responses showed a willingness to challenge the dominant narrative rather than simply accept it. His pivot to the broader issue of housing demand introduced a dimension that had not been fully addressed in the initial line of questioning. That moment reframed the discussion and forced a wider conversation beyond tariffs and short-term policy decisions. It demonstrated strategic thinking, the ability to recognize when a debate is too narrow and expand it in real time. Supporters would argue that he brought balance to a conversation that was becoming one-sided. Even critics would have to acknowledge that his final point shifted attention and created a lasting impact. In high-pressure hearings like this, clarity and control often determine who leaves the stronger impression, and Bessent maintained both. Ultimately, his performance showed confidence, discipline, and a clear intent to challenge assumptions rather than simply defend them.